this is support and resistance in a very short time period. We're just gonna break it down really simple. So think of support and resistance as like ping pong, where you have one paddle hitting a ball to the next paddle, and the goal is to understand what support is, right? And understand what resistance is. So if we clear this and we were to invert this, let's just say we invert this. I'm going to draw our support on the bottom here. Support is always going to be on the bottom, and resistance is going to be displayed on the top here. We're going to use a black line representing price action, and we will have price action hit our support, and then we'll see it bounce back up into resistance, and then we'll see it bounce back into support, then we'll see it bounce back into resistance, and then we'll see it bounce back into support. That's how support and resistance works. Now there are multiple ways that it can bounce or break the support resistance. So say if it bounces from support and then back into resistance, it could actually break through resistance here, and it can break with pressure and just continue to go. It can break, fall back down, and just bounce on the level of resistance turned into support now because the price is above it. So this was resistance, but now it's support. So that's also something to mention. Support is pointing this way, resistance is pointing that way, and so this is now support, right? And so it could bounce on top of our levels here, and then it can skyrocket, go up, or it could bounce in and then fall back down and then bounce in. This is what we call a retest. It broke, but then it retest, and then it can go down, or it could go down, bounce down, hug the level, and then who knows what's going to happen. It's up to price action, it's up to whatever. Or it can bounce, tag what we call midline, which depending on what type of support and resistance you have in price action and previous price, there could be a midline or not. But if this was the open range breakout, also known as orb, and orb, when we refer to orb, we refer to the first 15 minutes of orb. Open range breakout is the first 15 minutes of New York session, and so basically 9:30 is the bell, that's when it rings. 9:45 your orb would have been created. It's the highs and lows of orb. So if we were to draw a candle here, and this is anyone's candle, the apex of the 15-minute candle, this is the first 15-minute candle of session start, right? The orb would be bottom orb right here. So this is bot orb, and this would be top orb, and the midline would be here. And what we would probably see here is the midline of orb being tested, and then respects, and then it bounces up, and we got it going some more. Or it could bounce down and then touch down here in midline, and then go down and then just fall. Or it could bounce midline and then out here and then consolidate and then go. There's a lot of things that can happen, and it can consolidate here on our midline orb. And so it just depends on what's going on, and we'll go into like different strategies when it comes to like deciding if you want to break out or not, or if this was a good strategy to break out. But generally, this is how support and resistance works. The other strong version of support and resistance is pre-market highs and pre-market lows, and That basically is from 4:30 till 9:30, you will chart the pre-market highs and pre-market lows. So this could be 4:30 could be lows, it could be highs. Doesn't, but you're charting in between 4:30 and 9. So say this is the lows of pre-market highs, and this is the highs till 4:30. We would be charting in between here, in between pre-market highs and pre-market lows, and this is another level of support and resistance. And if you want to know how to find levels that aren't orb or pre-market highs or lows, right, then there will be a video either pinned in the description, or just look for how to make levels, and that will break it down.